Hi everyone and welcome back to LL Sports and News. Now, previously, myself and Shane, big up Shane in the building,
Love.
Man United fans you can see. Previously, we spoke about Saturday's fight and the aftermath in terms of what AJ is going to do. And we all know AJ was a loser. I think it's only proper that we should focus on the winner of Saturday's fight, who, by the way, congratulations to
Daniel
Triple
Dubois.
Triple D Dubois. He put on a superb performance. Really was good. So now we're going to talk about what's next for Daniel Dubois. Shane, just very quickly, give me your assessment on Daniel Dubois' performance, because, you know, has to be said, previously you weren't all the way impressed.
I'm still. I've said this before, and I even said it before the fight. I think, and I've said this, and I've been criticised. I said Dubois is intellectually challenged when he fights, and I know people said, "Oh, what are you talking about?" And I feel like maybe I should have rephrased that. When he fights, he's not a thinking fighter. He doesn't think his way through the fight, and it's almost to his benefit. When he gets hit, he doesn't. You look on AJ's face, and you can almost see him like trying to wonder, how did I get here? How did I get hurt? With Dubois, he just fights on.
Instinct.
It's just an instinct, mechanical type fighter. And I feel like when obviously you look at the Hrgovic fight, you look at the Miller fight, and you look at this fight, I feel like that's worked in his favour. It's worked in his favour in the sense that he is just a fighter and he's going to bring you into a dogfight, which he done an amazing job doing with AJ. I felt like a lot of people said, what's he going to do when there's 90,000 fans and 96,000 against him? I felt like he almost used it as fuel. Like, I'm against it and I'm going to turn this into a fight. And I feel like that worked into his advantage. And I actually give him so much credit. I've never rated Dubois higher than I rate him now. Never.
No, that's a fair point. I mean, listen, it wasn't that long ago people were labelling him a quitter. If you remember when he lost to Joe Joyce, he did quit.
And
but listen,
Usyk.
he had the problem with the eye, the fractured eye socket. And I remember saying to people at the time, not you, but some people were really going in on him, saying once a quitter, always a quitter. People like Tony Bellew, who I got a lot of respect for, he was saying things like that. And I said, listen, man, he may well have saved his career that night. When you get an eye injury like that and you're in with a puncher like Joe Joyce, you can't take that lightly. He was only 23 years old at the time as well.
I wasn't overly critical with that one. It was the Usyk one where I felt like he was genuinely in the fight and then he took a knee and he just didn't stand up. And I was like, that was where I was like, no, he definitely quit in that one. And
If you remember, there was also the Kevin Lorena fight.
yeah, where he got dropped 3 times in the first round.
And then, remember, he went back to the corner and he looked very sorry for himself. I think
Yeah,
it was Shane
definitely.
McGuigan, who was his coach at the time, had some strong words for him.
Of course.
And so the story goes, listen, we don't know. Daniel looked to be on the verge of quitting, but Shane said, listen, man, go out there and just let your hands go and you'll deal with this guy. And to be fair to him, he did that. He composed himself, went out there and got the job done in the very next round. So listen.
It's the same thing that you saw when he fought Hrgovic. He got caught with some big right hands in that first round against Hrgovic, but he just let his hands fly. Yeah. And it's literally been the method for how he's dealing with these fighters. And I can't even hate on it. Because
when Joshua hurt him, he didn't panic, did he? He went backwards. But you see how quick he was ready to counter.
Literally, because he didn't think. It wasn't like he wasn't wondering, oh, how did I get hit? You look AJ's face, he's like, there's almost a confusion. Dubois is like, I'm in a fight, let's have it.
Yeah,
and it's like, that.
Let's go now.
Yeah,
Let's go now.
Yeah.
So, yeah, man, I do kind of see where you're coming from. But listen, he was superb against AJ. And it's only right that we should talk about what he does next. Like we said, he had a couple of losses and a lot of people are very critical. And to be fair to him, he's bounced back superbly well. There was the wins against Jerome Miller. A lot of people thought he might struggle with Jerome Miller. In fact, I saw people who know their boxing predicting that Jerome Miller would beat him because they were saying that Jerome Miller would outlast him. Or
there was a lot of people saying that.
But he beat Jerome Miller up, man, especially after in the later rounds of that fight and stopped him in the 10th, which is not an easy thing to do. Because say what you want about Jerome Miller, he's a big, tough, strong man.
Trust me.
He done that. That was quite impressive. And then the next fight, like you said, Hrgovic, he was superb in that fight. Like you said, he shipped some big punishment early on, come through it, and he just beat Hrgovic and stopped him.
And I'll be honest, I actually feel like he's actually got better.
Yes.
Like I'm actually seeing improvement because in the Hrgovic fight, he was getting he get hit from big right hands. If you look in the AJ fight, other than that big right hand that he caught him with, he was actually quite defensively responsible, even though he was aggressive. So I won't lie.
You know what I think in the fight with AJ is that he was so offensive and he was having so much success that they say sometimes your offense can be your defense, because he was just controlling that fight from the off. But listen, he done the job. Plaudits to him. Also, shout out to Don Charles as well. He doesn't get enough credit for that win. They've got that out of the way now. You can imagine now his confidence is going to go through the roof. I was going to ask you, where do you think he should go next? Who do you think he should fight next?
I'll be honest. If Usyk decides to fight on when he beats Fury, because I don't think it's going to be an if, when he beats Fury, I feel like that's the fight I want to see. I'll be honest, I want to see Usyk versus Dubois. And the reason why I want to see that fight is because I feel like Dubois, if anyone in boxing right now has earned the right to fight Usyk and fight for the undisputed title, it's Dubois. But more importantly, there's still an asterisk over that fight. There's still people who say that Dubois stopped Usyk. And there's still an asterisk over that fight.
I was one of those, man. I thought he was dealt a bit of a harsh blow in that fight, because I remember we did a stream. I'm sure he was on it.
And I said I felt like it wasn't a low.
To me, it was
a low blow.
borderline.
I thought it was a low blow.
If that was a low blow, then the Amir Khan, when he stopped Zab Judah, in incidentally one of Amir Khan's best performances, when he stopped Zab Judah, remember with a body shot? And you saw Zab Judah writhing around on the floor claiming it was low, and it wasn't. To me, that was a borderline shot, same as Dubois versus. I'm not saying he would have gone on to win, because there's a school of thought that suggests that Usyk would have got up anyway. But for me, that was not low. But anyway, that's history. That's done
But because of that, because we can still have this debate, that's why I feel like a rematch can sell. That's why I feel like a rematch can sell.
But personally, I don't think, if I was in his brains trust, I wouldn't be going for Usyk straight away. I'll try and get a couple of defences. Try and solidify your status as IBF champion. And there are some good fights out there for him. I mean, I was going through the IBF rankings. You've got some decent fighters in there. You've got Caballero, Ajit Caballero,
I think
Germany.
Caballero's
he's doing some good things right now. Great
opponent.
Yeah, you've got Martin Bakoli. You've got Zhili Zhang, who incidentally called out. Well, he's not so much of a call. It was a respectful call out of Daniel Dubois. Frank Sanchez, I think that's. I wouldn't say it's an easy fight.
I wouldn't take the Sanchez fight personally.
No, but Sanchez did lose, didn't he?
He lost to Caballero, so I wouldn't take that fight.
And Sanchez is not a big puncher, so I think, and Dubois is a much bigger, younger man than him.
I think out of all the names that you've mentioned, I know you've got a couple others to mention. The reason why, especially the first two, I wouldn't go down, is because I don't think the reward's there for the risk. I genuinely believe Ajit Caballero and Bakoli have a good chance of beating Dubois, even though you probably have to make him favourite. If you're not gonna take a risk, at least take a risk where you're gonna earn enough money. Yeah. And I don't think them two are gonna be that.
Yeah, the other two I was gonna mention was F.A. Ajagba, heavyweight, Nigerian heavyweight, fights out of America, big guy, strong, decent punch, but has not really fulfilled his potential. A lot of people spoke about when he turned pro after the last Olympics.
Yeah, of course.
And Joe Joyce, of course, who holds a win over Dubois.
I would be honest, after seeing Joe Joyce lose to Chisora, I'd rather see Dubois fight Chisora than Joyce.
Well, it's an easy fight that could be made because they're both managed by Frank Warren.
Exactly.
And like you said, there was the loss, and I think if they fought now, though,
I think
what's transpired, I think that would be a fairly comfortable fight for Dubois.
Definitely. I do think you haven't put him on that list, but I would actually, when you think about it, like Dubois got to look at it from a perspective of financials as well as obviously a good opponent to fight. And I don't feel like after fighting AJ and making that millions that he made, if I'm Dubois, I'm pushing for a rematch because I think it's easy work. Yeah. If I'm Dubois, I'm pushing for a rematch. I want my money. I'm pushing for a rematch. I think that's easy work. So if I'm doing everything in my power to make AJ sign the rematch.
Who would have thought we'd have been saying that prior to Saturday's fight? But yeah, you make a good point. I mean, it was such a comfortable win for him that he's probably saying, yeah, bring it on. Let's do it again. Yeah, I mean, and the money that he'll make with the AJ fight and the status.
Because I think he was the B side going financially. Yeah, so he probably might be closer towards the A side in a rematch. He make more money.
I don't think he will get A side money, but he will get a lot more
than what he made before.
He can.
And I think it might be an easier fight. I mean, it might be an easier fight.
Based on what I saw last week, I cannot see AJ beating him unless AJ goes out there and lands a Hail Mary shot and knocks him out.
Yeah.
But other than that, I can't see AJ beating him. I think that he was so much in control. He so comprehensively beat AJ in every facet of the game.
Yeah.
Because don't forget, he didn't just knock him out, he beat him up.
Yeah.
Dropped him, and then knocked him out. It wasn't like it was competitive and then he landed a shot and that was it. From round one, man, he was on my man's case.
Yeah.
Landing jabs, right hands, left hooks, uppercuts, knocked him down several times, and then the coup de grace, man, was a face plant.
Yeah, no, it was
and,
that I actually feel like that knockout that Dubois landed, the calmness that he showed being hurt to land that counter right hand, even though AJ was wide open, that was impressive.
Yeah,
that was impressive. Anyone knows boxing, you're backed up in the corner and you got someone who just hurt you and rocked you. It's very easy for you to panic. To select that shot and the timing that he showed moving backwards, it's great ability there. So,
and I think as well, if you're Daniel Dubois, his manager, and listen, Frank Warren, say what you want about him, man, but he knows how
to position a fighter.
Yeah, he knows how to, manage people's careers. He will probably be looking at it, and again, I'm speaking off the top of my head, I don't know for sure, obviously, but he will want Daniel Dubois to get a few defences under his belt, and there's some very winnable fights out there.
I think
Usyk, is too dangerous, even though Usyk is getting older, right? But his skill level is such that I don't think Dubois would necessarily want to go there because there's other fights.
Where you're right is Frank's probably looking at it as, well, this is probably the last Fury fight, or we're in the last phase of Fury's career. Dubois is only 27. I can this train can keep going. He's gonna be the face of the new generation.
If he's managed right.
Exactly. If he's managed right, he's the face of the new generation for the next 5 years at least. And if you position him right, Dubois is that guy. Dubois will be if he doesn't fight Usyk, and once Usyk, Wilder, AJ, and everyone goes, Fury goes, Dubois is gonna be the person at the top, and he's not gonna want to risk that. You got a good point.
Yeah.
He's not gonna want to risk that.
Two things I want to say in wrapping up. AJ. Daniel Dubois, Triple D. Let's stop calling him Triple D. Daniel Dubois is at that stage now, 27 years old. He's an exciting heavyweight. He knocks people out, so he lets his hands go. Two things. They've got to steer his career in the right way, get him the right fights. And can I humbly suggest they do some media training with this guy? And when I say that, bro, I'm trying not to be disrespectful, but we all know Daniel is not the best in front of a camera. I think that they could help his cause by getting him, maybe they've done this already.
Yeah.
Get him some media training, get him more interviews, get him out there so that people know him.
Of course, definitely.
Because listen, talent-wise, man, he's brilliant and he excites.
Yeah, he's an exciting fighter.
Yeah, so all you need to do with a guy like that is to get him to talk more, open up, get his story out to the world, and he's going to become a star. There's no doubt about it. Because right now, you got to look at it. Fury, Usyk, AJ, all those Wilder, all them man there, they're at that stage now where they're ready to move on. And Daniel Dubois is only 27, and he's banging man out, and he's looking good.
There's an argument, and we follow boxing all across the weight class. There's an argument that Dubois could be fighter of the year. There's an
absolutely.
argument.
Look at the wins he's had
Literally,
recently.
that's what I'm saying. He could easily be fighter of the year this year.
Because he was underdog against Hrgović. Let's
he
start with Miller.
He might have been underdog against Miller.
Yeah, a lot of people would say, I thought he would beat Miller, but a lot of people out there, people who know their boxing, were saying that Jarrell Miller is the wrong fight for him because he's, coming off those not very good performances where people said he'd quit. They said that Miller will be too tough a job. He beat Miller easy, beat him up, stopped him. Took on Hrgović. A lot of people said Hrgović was
Everyone was saying Hrgović was the next big thing.
Yeah,
everyone was saying that.
And he destroyed Hrgović.
Yeah,
beat him up again. Beat him up and stopped him. And then AJ, say less.
Literally, so
he's on the verge of becoming a genuine star. So when I say things like get the guy some media trainings, I'm only saying that with respect to him.
Facts.
You know what I mean? Because he's not the most comfortable in front of a camera. You get the impression there's far more to come from him. So get him out there, man. Let him do the interviews. Let him do the media stuff. Get the public familiarised with him. And I guarantee you, man, he's ceiling
100%.
There is no ceiling.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? So, but listen, man, we've got to wrap up unless there's anything else you want to say.
No, that's everything, man.
We're going to get Shane on again soon because you didn't mind if I tell people?
Oh, yeah, go on.
Shane will be flying out to the Bivol Beterbiev or
in Saudi.
Bivol. How do you say Beterbiev? Is it Beterbiev?
I say Beterbiev.
I say Beterbiev. Somebody called me out in the comments the other day saying I got the name wrong. But anyway, we all know, those who know boxing know who we're talking about. That is a tremendous fight. And my man is going out there.
Yeah, Saudi
to watch it.
Yeah,
so we'll be talking to you both
100%.
before you go and after. You can
I'll
share
tell you
your
the experience. Yeah,
with
definitely.
And before, don't say it now, but before that fight is it October the 12th?
Yeah, October the 12th.
Yeah, I'll be getting you in and we can talk about it and you can give your prediction for the fight. But listen, thanks for coming in, bro.
No problem.
Thanks to you guys for watching, supporting, like, share, subscribe. Don't forget that. Share the video, tell the people, let the world know about LL Sports and News, the new channel. We thank you so much for your support. Keep supporting and we'll see you on the next one. We're out.